All right. James Tynion was known as like the good DC writer for a company that's been failing for a long time. And I bought into the hype a little bit, so I checked out this hardcover of his Something is Killing the Children, which just came out. And I'll get into this in a second. My name's John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and a #1 best-selling comic creator and an award-winning author and comic creator in both fronts. Check out my stuff. It's in the description below, and I would love to get you guys as readers myself. And thank you for supporting the channel, everybody who does so. All right. This is a horror. I don't usually read a ton of horror. If I do, it's typically EC stuff from like the 50s because it's just better back then. And I don't read a lot of modern writers, and for good reason. So this is James Tynion, and it's illustrated by Werther Del Adera. And we'll get into this in just a second. As you can see, it starts out with some weirdness. Kids getting naked and playing some truth or dare thing, but all boys together, and it's very sexualized children to start the book. That was the first warning that this was going to be something that I was not going to like very much. And you got kind of this like detailed painted style where it's like a look that is pretty modern, but then you get into like some of this like after that, and the art gets, I mean, you can see just the inconsistencies between sort of like the really detailed painted style that we get with the boy here to like this girl where her face looks really funky in different spots. She's very difficult to look at. Just not, I don't know. Shoot. I don't even know where to start with this book. Anyway, basically there's a guy, he's playing spin the bottle, he's super gay, he reminds you he's super gay every single issue, basically. And this girl shows up in town because he's seeing some weird stuff, and she, I guess, knows that there's going to be something bad happening here. And he's edgy and gay, and, there you go. Some nice diversity principle in the small town. Of course, it's just kind of how we go. Like I said about the girl, like kind of just looking inconsistent and funky the whole time she does. And she's investigating like these murdery type of things that are going on, and you thought it was a dream at first, not exactly sure what's going on this stuff. And is again just like the art's all over the map and just doesn't work sometimes. Look at what's up with that nose too. Gosh. Okay. I don't love the art. I don't love the layouts. The monster looks pretty cool, but that's about it. I'll say something nice. And it all very slowly happens. So this is all like very drawn out. This is 15 issues. And what happens is these monsters are showing up in town. It's a mystery of what's happening. You don't know if it's real or if it's not at first, or if she's involved with it somehow, or if other people are involved with it somehow. There's the funky face again. Look at that weird structure there. All right. And turns out she's a Buffy monster hunter type of person or something like that. And you can tell some of these were just derived from like pictures online of Home Depot. And then just like kind of traced on top of. Yeah, that happens a lot in comics and modern comics too. There's your pink-haired, ambiguous race, whatever. You got to have that representation in here. And it's just like we're 4 issues into this, and like kind of nothing's happened at this point. Now the monsters start to show up in chapter 5. Because you got to do like 5-issue arcs or 6-issue arcs, and we get a sort of monster fight over the course of this. Some of these are just like super lazy looking. The art makes it really hard to read a lot of the time too. But the dialogue's really slow too, and it's a lot of going back and forth, like dialogue where it's just like bantering back and forth. It's Bendis-esque dialogue, so it's really slow paced. At this point, you still don't know what's going on. Like, she's part of some secret organization of like evil or good Buffy monster hunters or something, and they're gonna come after her now because they don't like that she's kind of going rogue, and then he's kind of just hanging out over the course of things and like helping her a little bit. Now, more bodies are turning up during the town. We learn that the monsters can only be seen by children, so that's a thing that happens, and that makes it harder for the adults to actually investigate this stuff. Her little order comes out and like kind of goes after her, and she wears like they wear these little Antifa masks over the course of this, of course, too. You know. Oh yes. There's your SJW corporate art. Oh my God, I can't handle this. I started skimming it at this point because I'm halfway through this. Like, we're no closer on like the quote mystery here. There's not much going on. We've got Antifa lady, we've got gay dude. It's really hard to read, and the art is just like really hard to look at as well. Oh my gosh. But eventually, like, they do kill all the monsters in the town. Her little group kind of, like, doesn't like what she's doing. She's going to go off to some other town, and he's going to follow her and join her little monster hunter kill squad or whatever it is. And that's all that happens in 15 issues. And then somebody gets blamed for it, like it's not a monster. Like, the adults, like, even though they saw this weird stuff going on, still don't believe it, and somebody goes to jail over it. And then they just take off together. And that's it. So 15 issues, like, that's all that happened. This could have been one issue of a Golden Age comic or Silver Age comic easily. And it was just so decompressed. It was so slow paced. The dialogue was so cringy all the way around. The SJW virtue signaling was off the charts. The art's ugly. Everything about this is terrible. So yeah, I got this as a hype purchase, and because it was all hyped. Everybody talks about James Tynion, and, you know, this is why you don't read modern comics. That's about it. All right, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this series. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll be back soon.